All right, we gotta bang out some trades real quick. This is one of the oldest we haven't talked about yet. This is the Chris Tanev deal. It was a three-way trade that involved the Dallas Stars, Calgary Flames, and New Jersey Devils. We'll start with the main centerpiece, Chris Tanev, solid defensive defenseman. A little bit of offense there, not a whole lot. He goes from the Flames to the Devils to Dallas. The Flames retained 50% of his contract. So the Flames move on from $2.25 million, goes to the Devils. The Devils retain 50% of that as well. I don't know why this is. I got this off Cap Friendly, but they essentially retained $1.125 million. So let's just make that a 1 or just erase it. Chris Tanev, boom. Cap hit of $1.125 million. In Dallas, playing on that second pairing, mostly with Issa Lindell. Hagenpah moves down to that third pairing. I like Hagenpah. I think he's a solid defensive defenseman, but this just bolsters Dallas's blue line quite a bit, which is something they kind of need. There are some inconsistencies on that blue line. The forward group, I think, is solid top to bottom, but at the end of the day, maybe a little tweaking needs to be done. The talent's there. You just need to put it all together. And there are times they have done that and they've looked good, but at other times there are questions. But I think the priority for the Dallas Stars was their blue line. I think the Chris Tanev deal, pretty solid, and they didn't have to give up too much for the caliber player he is. I think Tanev fits well on that second line too. So Tanev, Stars also get goaltender Cole Brady from the New Jersey Devils. He's an unsigned prospect. I don't think he was going to sign in New Jersey. Played his first 2 seasons in the NCAA at Arizona State. Transferred schools to the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Amherst is a better, more renowned hockey school in a much more difficult division than Arizona State. Hockey East specifically. Amherst tends to be competitive. I don't know about the standings this year. But the stats of Cole Brady indicates he's more of a backup goaltender at the collegiate level. I think he's played like 9 games this year, sub 900 save percentage. So we'll see if anything pans out. College hockey can be difficult for some goaltenders. They can come out of college and be great in the minors, or they can just be abysmal in the minors. So you never know. You never know. Cole Brady, we'll see what happens with him. The Devils, in exchange for retaining salary on Chris Tanev and Cole Brady, get a 2026 4th-round pick. You know the Stars are going to be in the playoffs this year. You know there's a good chance they could make a run in the playoffs. So that's going to be a pretty late pick, as one would assume. So they go out a couple of years from now, that 2026 draft round pick. Maybe it's a higher 4th round than it would be this year. More of like a 5th round this year, but maybe it's like a 3rd round in a couple of years. We'll see. I don't think the Stars will fall off that much in a couple of years, but you never know. I like the 2026 move. Flames, they end up getting prospect Artem Grushnikov. Solid defensive defenseman prospect. Played the entire season with the Dallas Stars AHL affiliate, the Texas Stars. Did pretty well. Now he's playing in the minors with the Calgary Wranglers, I believe. Not too bad, but again, solid defensive defenseman. His defensive skills are impressive. I'm sure we'll see him get a shot at the NHL level sooner rather than later. I don't know if we'll see it this season, but we'll see him probably early next season, playing in a Calgary Flames uniform. So that's exciting. Flames also get a 2024 second-round pick. That's this upcoming draft second-round pick. Probably a later pick, but nonetheless, there are always some gems in the second round, especially if you're drafting defenders. A lot of defensemen come out of the second round, make it to the NHL, and look good. They also get a 3rd-round pick in 2026 as well. We just discussed 2026 picks from Dallas. It's a conditional pick, so it becomes a 2nd-round pick if the Dallas Stars advance, not win, but just make it to the Stanley Cup. I think it's possible. I'm not sure how possible, but the Stars are definitely a team that could make quite a push in the playoffs. So that pick could be moved up at some point. Flames also retained, as we talked about, 50% of Chris Tanev's overall contract. So Flames paying the most for Chris Tanev this season. Stars Devils paying half of what the Flames are paying for Chris Tanev. It's tough to say winner. I mean, the Stars trade a pretty decent blue line prospect. They also pay 3 picks worth, a second, a third, and a fourth. They get a goaltender, more likely than not going to pan out. Probably not going to pan out at the NHL level. That's okay because you never know. You also get Chris Tanev at a solid bargain. If you're the Stars, I think this is a good trade for kind of all teams involved, right? The Devils, kind of doing that middleman, like I'll save you some money if you throw me a pick, right? So I think the Devils, for taking on a $1 million of a cap hit, they get a 4th-round pick. That's great. They lose a prospect who probably wasn't going to sign anyway. The Flames get 2 picks. They get a pretty solid prospect, right? That can play as soon as next week if he needs to play. Probably see him next season. Stars really shore up their blue line, really trying to make that playoff push. I think it's a good trade for all 3 teams realistically. I don't have too many upsets with this. It's one of those things where Flames probably not making the playoffs. They have some guys that are not willing to sign extensions. They need to sell off some of these guys. Everybody knows these players are on the market, so the return can be questionable for some of these guys. Chris Tanev being that. Chris Tanev might be worth more, but at the same time, you do get, again, I'm raving about this prospect. He's really good in his own zone. I think he's going to be a solid, at the very least, bottom 3 pairing. I could see him maybe being a top 4 defenseman playing on that second line, being more of a shutdown guy. I mean, we'll see. He's still young. There's plenty of time to figure that out. He hasn't broken into the NHL just yet, so it's a little premature. But second, third, so you get something in return. You're not just getting pennies. You're not just getting change. You're not just getting ECHL players and 7th-round picks. You're getting a decent return. Do I think you could have gotten a little more for Chris Tanev? Yes, but we also know through various NHL reports, Elliot Friedman, Chris Drager, reporting that this was the best offer that the Flames got for Chris Tanev. So that's it. That's all I got for now. Let me know what you think. Got any winners? I don't really have a winner in this trade. I think all 3 teams did well. I think, Krishnikov, it will be a good replacement for Chris Tanev on the blue line sooner. He'll be cheaper, and, he could have a solid defensive impact on that team. So I don't think it's a bad team trade for any team. That's all I got. I appreciate you watching. More to come. Take care, all right?